So the differences between working with our clients regionally here in the Northeast versus clients in other locations in the US and then clients internationally, how differently do we approach those scenarios?
I think it's really straightforward. You know, one, there's always a open heart, open mind, opportunity to learn. So what are we learning about? Culture, tradition, language, traditions, you know, things that really are celebrated in small business. It doesn't change, but here's where it does impact. So the impacts are different when we're talking languages. We have a client that is in Sweden learning how to speak English, and she's Finnish. So she's from Finland, living in Sweden, taking an English course. So we're going through multiple wickets to meet her where she is, encourage her, and honestly, she was very embarrassed, which is a fascinating thing. You know, she kept apologizing for having to pause and cognitively think through it. Like, no worries, no worries. And the moment she started to be seen and felt seen, and she relaxed. And our session, it was magic, quite frankly. She was, I got it. I love where this is going. I know that I can do it. And she did. She really followed through with terrific efficiency.
Well, I see that the necessity to be patient as well. I see a much starker difference between American. I don't see as much of the regional differences with Americans as much as I see a difference between Americans and Europeans, specifically with, you know, I need to, you know, I'm going away and taking time off. There's the approach to just how entrepreneurs are in America versus entrepreneurs are in Europe.
Yes.
And then I would also add to that, I think it's approaching sales and money. I see the biggest difference between the two.
Well, I think that's really safe to say, because we do happen to have an inordinate number of clients from Nordic countries. And that's usually, sales are terrible for, it's not a cultural thing.
I don't know if that's, I don't think it's necessarily just the Nordic. I think it's in general in Europe. There's the trepidation with sales. There's the trepidation with talking about money. There's even the trepidation around like wanting to grow and be more. And
isn't that fascinating?
Yeah. Whereas
Americans, we love it.
It's that idea of like you forge your own destiny. That's very much part of our
it's individualistic.
Culture. It's individualistic,
Yeah.
right? So I would see those as the two. And I think I didn't have that awareness until I started noticing some like, oh, that's really interesting why they're resisting that or having a lot of questions or sort of taking their time moving through this.
See, I think that's interesting if we took a look at how we develop the programming. As we're developing the program, do we develop it with Americans in mind or students in general in mind?